Hello friends, it's Miss San from Gra Creations. Welcome to Storytime. Today we are celebrating Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving! I hope you get to spend the day with your family, eating lots of food, and being sure to say a few things that you are thankful for. Let's warm up our voices because we're going to be singing at the end. All right, let's start with our warm-ups. We're going to warm up our bodies too, so we're going to do head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Are you ready? Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Eyes, ears, mouth, and nose. Do you think you can do it faster? I bet you can. Are you ready? And head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Eyes, ears, mouth, and nose. Can you do it faster? Hunch down a little bit. Get close to your toes. Ready? And head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Eyes, ears, mouth, and nose. Good job. I knew you could do it. So to celebrate Thanksgiving, we are going to read a few books and some of my favorite Thanksgiving poems and songs. So we're going to start off with a book called The Very First Thanksgiving. This is by Rhonda Growler Green. The Very First Thanksgiving. This is the very first Thanksgiving. Oh, do you see how old-timey it looks? This is the food gathered and blessed, the corn and sweet berries the wild turkey dressed, shared on the first Thanksgiving day. Oh, doesn't that food all look delicious? Hopefully all of your meals turn out really well tomorrow as well. These are the Indians, skillful and strong, who knew how to live through the winter so long. They ate the food gathered and blessed. It helps to know people who know how to farm, because every new continent has different ways of farming. These are the Pilgrims who farmed the new land, who steadfastly labored and toiled by hand, and learned from the Indians, skillful and strong. These are the houses built in straight rows that stood in the hot sun and harsh winter snows, and sheltered the Pilgrims who farmed the new land. This is the harbor marked by a huge stone, where first steps were taken to chart the unknown, not far from the houses built in straight rows. Look at all that snow. Does it snow where you live? Doesn't snow where I live. This is the Mayflower ship in full sail that weathered the rough seas, the wind and the hail, and docked in the harbor marked by a huge stone. This is the ocean that never would end, that sometimes was foe and sometimes was friend, that carried the Mayflower ship in full sail. A foe is an kind of an enemy. Yeah, it's the opposite of a friend. Look at that, such a big ocean. Do you know what ocean they crossed? Yes, the Atlantic. You're so smart. This is the land where it all began, the land where a brave group made ready their plan to travel the ocean that never would end, that sometimes was foe and sometimes was friend. Do you remember what country they came from? The Pilgrims? That's right, they came from England. That carried the Mayflower ship in full sail, that weathered the rough seas and the wind and the hail, and docked in the harbor marked by a huge stone, where first steps were taken to chart the unknown. Not far from the houses built in straight rows that stood in the hot sun and harsh winter snows, and sheltered the Pilgrims who farmed the new land, who steadfastly labored and toiled by hand. And learn from the Indians, skillful and strong, who knew how to live through the winter so long, and ate the food gathered and blessed, the corn and sweet berries and wild turkey dressed. Shared on the first Thanksgiving Day. Aren't these illustrations beautiful? The illustrations are done by Susan Gabber. She did a beautiful job. I love the illustrations in this book. That was a fun poem about the first Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving became a national holiday in the United States actually after the Civil War. So in the 1860s, it wasn't official until Abraham Lincoln kind of brought it back. It had been celebrated here and there, but not as a consistent or national holiday until later. And now we get a party. I hope that you got to spend lots and lots of time with your family and yeah. All right. Next up, I'm going to read you a poem. This poem makes me laugh really hard every time I hear it. It is by Jack Preluski. Are you ready? It's entitled, "The Turkey Shot Out of the Oven." The turkey shot out of the oven and ricocheted into the air. It knocked every plate off the table and partially demolished a chair. It ricocheted into a corner and burst with a deafening boom, then splattered all over the kitchen, completely obscuring the room. It stuck to the walls and the windows. It totally coated the floor. There was turkey attached to the ceiling where there'd never been turkey before. It blanketed every appliance. It smeared every saucer and bowl. There wasn't a way I could stop it. The turkey was out of control. I scraped and I scrubbed with displeasure and thought with a chagrin as I mopped that I'd never stuff a turkey with popcorn that hadn't been popped. Isn't that funny? Don't put popcorn into a turkey. Apparently it can shoot out of the oven and partially demolish a chair. The first time I ever heard that story or that poem was my brother read it to me, and to tell you the truth, I was drinking hot chocolate at the time, and the hot chocolate came out my nose. I was laughing so hard. So, don't stuff your turkey with popcorn. All right. Next, we're going to read, one of my favorite books in the series. That's right. The Night Before Thanksgiving by Natasha Wing. You know I love these books. Just wait until next month when we get to read the real story. 'Twas the night before Thanksgiving, and all through the house, through the nation, families got ready for the big celebration. At our house, my mom baked 3 kinds of pies, pecan and pumpkin and apple surprise. What's your favorite kind of pie? I do like pumpkin pie, I will admit, but cherry's my ultimate favorite. That night we were nestled all snug in our beds while visions of turkey legs danced in our heads. Look at that. I love this picture with the turkey legs dancing. The very next morning, Thanksgiving, yippee! We got up and watched the parade on TV. How many of you guys are going to watch the Macy's Day Parade this year? It's always a fun parade. Relatives arrived from near and far, by taxi and airplane, by train and by car. My brother came up the basement stairs, lugging the kids' table and folding chairs. We counted and polished our best silverware, then set the 2 tables with patience and care. Is it your job to set the table at your house? My job on Thanksgiving was always clearing the table and serving the dessert. The turkey went in, and more cousins came. I laughed and I shouted and I called them by name. Hi, Danny. Hi, Donnie. Hi, Paula and Vicky. Hi, Cassie and Kathy. Hi, Brenda and Ricky. Come in from the porch. Step into the hall. Now come and play. Come and play. Come and play all. Isn't it fun to be able to play with cousins at Thanksgiving? So up to my room, my cousins they flew. We played with my toys and computer games too. We made pilgrim hats and funny shoe buckles, then put on a skit for the aunts and the uncles. Do you guys do skits for Thanksgiving? Let me know. All were assembled except Uncle Norm. He called us to say he was stuck in a storm. Meanwhile, my mother was getting out yams, cranberry jelly, and honey-baked hams. When Mom wasn't looking, we stuck olives on fingers, said they were puppets and grand opera singers. I love doing that. While dinner was cooking, we played dodgeball outside. Our tummies were growling. Can we eat yet? We cried. The timer then sounded. The turkey was cooked. Mom opened the oven. She sniffed and she looked. When what to our watering mouth should appear but a marvelous bird that caused us to cheer. The skin, oh, so golden, the drumstick so juicy. The stuffing was fluffy, thanks to my Aunt Lucy. Dad slid out the bird. It weighed 30 pounds. He turned, then he tripped over one of our hounds. Look at that. Oh no! It's almost as bad as the turkey shooting out of the oven. Up in the air the turkey did fly, over the string beans and straight for the pie. My brother and I made such a clatter as we leapt and caught the bird on a platter. Look at that. She'd make a great baseball player. All right, said Grandpa, get on with the carving. Can't you see that these people are starving? Dad spoke not a word, but went straight to his work. He sliced up the turkey, then turned with a jerk. In front of our house, we heard the beeps of a horn. A trucker delivered? None other than Norm! Yay, Uncle Norm made it! With a wink of his eye and a twist of his head. The party can start. I made it, Norm said. I love how cheeky he is. The party can start because I made it. Maybe if you're going somewhere for Thanksgiving this year, that's how you can arrive. We all took our places. The smooth food smelled so great. We started to dig in, but Dad said to wait. We're thankful that everyone is together this year in our home and our hearts, where we hold you so dear. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of Thanksgiving, is to say thank you. We ate and we ate, yet last but not least, the very next day was a leftover feast. Do you look forward to leftovers? What is your favorite leftover? Do you do a sandwich the next day? Do you cook it up into like a casserole? I'm curious. All right, are we singing voices already? I sure hope so, because the next poem is also a song. A lot of songs are converted into, or a lot of poems are converted into songs. So this particular one is going to be one that you might be familiar with, but a lot of people don't know that it's a Thanksgiving poem. Over the River and Through the Woods by Lydia Maria Child. Are you ready? Over the river and through the woods, to grandfather's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry the sleigh through the white and drifted snow. Over the river and through the wood, oh, how the wind does blow. It stings the toes and it bites the nose as over the ground we go. Over the river and through the wood to have a first-rate play. Hear the bells ting-a-ling-ding, hurrah for Thanksgiving Day. Over the river and through the wood, trot fast my dapple gray. Spring over the ground like a hunting hound, for this is Thanksgiving Day. Over the river and through the wood and straight through the barnyard gate. We seem to go extremely slow, it's so hard to wait. Over the river and through the wood, now grandmother's cap I spy. Hurrah for the fun, is the pudding done? Hurrah for the pumpkin pie. All right. Now, do you know the tune? Now that you remember the words, let's see if we can sing it. Here's some pictures to help us move along. Over the river and through the wood, to grandfather's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry the sleigh through the white and drifted snow. Over the river and through the wood, oh how the wind does blow. It stings the toes and it bites the nose as over the ground we go. Over the river and through the wood, to have a first-rate play. Hear the bells ring ting-a-ling-ding, hurrah for Thanksgiving Day. Over the river and through the wood, trot fast my dapple gray. Spring over the ground like a hunting hound, for this is Thanksgiving Day. Over the river and through the wood and straight through the barnyard gate. We seem to go extremely slow, it's so hard to wait. Over the river and through the wood, now grandmother's cap I spy. Hurrah for the fun, is the pudding done? Hurrah for pumpkin pie. Yay, thanks for singing that with me. I hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Be sure to write down or say to a sibling or your parents 6 or 7 things that you're thankful for. Also feel free to make a Thanksgiving turkey. The directions are on my channel. I hope you have a beautiful Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much, but enjoy. Bye, I'll see you next time.